It is the year 80 AD. You wake before the sun rises. The air around you is cold, and the stone floor beneath your thin blanket has left your body stiff and aching. For a moment you lie still, staring at the wooden beams above you. Then you hear it. Footsteps. Someone is already awake. You sit up quickly. In this house, sleeping late is not an option, because you are not a servant. You are a slave in the Roman Empire, and your life does not belong to you. Morning. The house is still quiet as you rise. You sleep in a small storage room with 3 other slaves. The room is cramped, barely large enough for the 4 of you to lie down at night. A single oil lamp flickers on the wall, casting weak shadows across the stone. Outside the room, the household is beginning to stir. You quickly fold the rough blanket you slept on. It is thin and smells faintly of dust, but it is all you have. Your first job of the day is simple. Prepare the household for morning. You step into the courtyard of the Roman villa. The sky above is still dark blue, and the air carries the faint smell of olive oil and smoke from last night's fire. The villa belongs to a wealthy Roman merchant, and there are many slaves here. Some cook, some clean, some serve food to the family, others manage the gardens or the stables. But no matter the task, you all share the same truth. None of you are free. Breakfast. In the kitchen, the fire must be lit before the household wakes. You gather dry wood and kneel beside the stone hearth. Sparks crackle as you strike flint, and soon the flames begin to grow. Another slave arrives, carrying water from the well. Neither of you speak much. Most mornings are quiet like this. Breakfast for the slaves is simple. A small portion of bread, sometimes olives, occasionally a bit of cheese if the household has extra. You eat quickly, standing near the kitchen wall. There is no table for you, no chairs. Those belong to the family upstairs. The Roman household. As the sun finally rises, the house becomes alive with movement. The master of the villa is waking. His name is Lucius Vero, a merchant who trades wine and olive oil across the Mediterranean. He owns dozens of slaves. Some were captured in war. Some were sold by desperate families. Others were born into slavery. You were not always a slave. Years ago, you lived in a small village far from Rome. But during a war, Roman soldiers came. Villages burned. People were captured. And those who survived were sold in slave markets. You were one of them. Work begins. Soon the overseer arrives. He walks through the courtyard with a wooden staff in his hand. The staff is not just for walking. It is a reminder. Slaves who disobey are punished. You are sent to work in the gardens today. The villa's gardens are large and carefully maintained. Roman families take great pride in their gardens. There are olive trees, small fountains, and rows of herbs used for cooking. Your task is to clear weeds from the soil and water the plants before the sun becomes too hot. The work is slow. Your hands grow dirty quickly as you kneel in the earth. Hours pass. The sun climbs higher in the sky. Sweat runs down your neck, but you keep working. Because stopping is not allowed. Life as property. In Rome, slaves are not seen as people. They are seen as property. Just like livestock. Just like tools. A slave can be bought. A slave can be sold. A slave can be punished for almost any reason. Some masters are cruel. Others are less harsh. Lucius Varro is considered fair by Roman standards, but even a fair master still owns you. Your life depends entirely on his decisions. The marketplace. By midday, you are sent with another slave to the nearby market. Your job is to carry baskets of herbs harvested from the garden. The Roman marketplace is loud and crowded. Merchants shout over one another. Animals move through the streets. Citizens in fine clothing walk past without even noticing you. They do not look at slaves, because slaves are everywhere. Historians estimate that in some parts of the Roman Empire, 1 out of every 3 people was a slave. The empire runs on their labor. Roads, farms, ships, mines, homes, all built and maintained by people who have no freedom. Different kinds of slaves. Not all slaves live the same life. Some slaves work in homes like this one. Others work in farms across the countryside. These agricultural slaves often work from sunrise until nightfall. Their lives are extremely harsh. Then there are the slaves in mines. Mining slaves dig deep underground, searching for gold and silver. Few survive long in those conditions. And then there are the gladiator slaves. Some are forced to fight in arenas for entertainment. Crowds cheer as they battle. For many of them, survival depends on fighting well. Compared to those lives, working in a Roman household can feel almost fortunate. But it is still a life without freedom. Rumors of freedom. In the afternoon, you return to the villa. The heat of the day has begun to fade slightly. Inside the courtyard, you hear whispers among the other slaves. Someone is talking about manumission. Manumission is the process of being granted freedom. Sometimes Roman masters free slaves after many years of loyal service. Other times, slaves can save money and buy their freedom. But this does not happen often. For most slaves, freedom remains only a distant hope. Still, the idea spreads quietly among you. Evening duties. As the sun begins to set, the household prepares for dinner. The family of the villa gathers in the dining room. Roman dinners can last for hours. Guests arrive, wine flows. Food is served in many courses. Your role now is to help serve. You carry trays of bread, roasted meat, and fruit into the dining room. The family reclines on cushioned couches while eating. Music plays softly from a small instrument. They laugh and speak about business, politics, and travel. You stand quietly near the wall, invisible, waiting for the next command. Night. Late in the evening, the guests leave. The house grows quiet once more. The lamps are extinguished. You help clean the dining room and kitchen. By the time your work is finished, the moon is already high above the villa. You return to the small room where the slaves sleep. Your body is exhausted. Your hands ache from a day of labor. You lie down again on the thin blanket. Around you, the other slaves settle into silence. Outside, the Roman city sleeps. But tomorrow will be the same. Another day of work. Another day without freedom. And yet, somewhere deep inside, a small thought remains. Perhaps one day, your master will grant you freedom. Perhaps one day, you will walk these streets not as a slave, but as a free citizen of Rome. For now, you close your eyes and wait for morning.